Welcome back to Crypto Atlas, your daily source for crypto whale alerts, crypto market news, and DeFi gems. And happy New Year, everybody. I hope that the new year is treating you well. Let's go ahead and get started with the big one. So first up here, on December 31st, whale alert flagged 500 million XRP unlocked from Ripple escrow. That's roughly $920 million worth of XRP coming out at once. And just 2 minutes later, literally 2 minutes, another 200 million XRP gets unlocked. That's another $368 million. So, in the span of a few minutes, Ripple unlocked 700 million XRP worth about $1.28 billion. Now, before anyone panics, take a breath. This is actually part of Ripple's normal escrow cycle. This is not some surprise dump or emergency move. Ripple does this every month. But what matters is what happens after. And this is where it gets interesting, because shortly after those unlocks, we see the other side of the equation. Whaler then reports 500 million XRP locked back into escrow. That's almost the same amount as the first unlock pushed right back in. Then on January 1st, we see two more locks, one for 100 million XRP and another for another 100 million XRP. Altogether, that's 700 million XRP relocked. So, if you're keeping score at home, yes, 700 million XRP unlocked, and then 700 million XRP locked back up. That's not accidental. This tells us Ripple likely unlocked escrow, allocated what they needed, whether that's for ODL liquidity, institutional usage, partnerships, or operational costs, and then secured the rest right back into escrow. And historically, this is what Ripple does almost every month. Now, here's the key takeaway a lot of people miss. Escrow unlocks do not automatically mean selling. Unlocking just means the XRP becomes available. What Ripple chooses to do with it is what actually matters. And the fact that such a large portion was immediately relocked suggests supply control is still very much in play. From a market perspective, this is actually pretty neutral, maybe even slightly reassuring. No sudden flood of XRP, no unexpected supply shock, just structure, predictable escrow management. So if you see headlines screaming something like billions of XRP unlocked, always zoom out and check the follow-up transactions. The lockups matter just as much as the unlocks. So I have a bit of news to share with you guys as well. Before I get into that, I just want to let you know real quick, there is a crypto exchange. If you have not heard about it, it's called BTCC. There is a referral link of mine down in the description below. This has been around for over 13 years now, and it's got things like up to 500x leverage, over 300 plus cryptos. But if you want to look at it more, if you want to get started, you can find that link down below. And also you can join my Telegram if you want to stay updated on the latest that's going on with these different whale alerts. So now moving on to the news. We've got a post here. This is from Danny Krypton, and it says, breaking, a big storm is coming. U.S. Treasury has a massive problem nobody wants to talk about. Take a good look at this chart. That giant blue spike, yeah, that's trillions in U.S. debt that expires in 2026, not 2030, not 2040, 2026, which, news alert, guys, we're now in 2026, right? And all of it has to be refinanced at much higher interest rates than the near zero environment it was originally issued in. So to put this in simple terms, the US loaded up on cheap debt. That cheap debt now has to be rolled over at expensive rates. Interest costs are about to explode. Something has to give. Markets, taxes, spending, or the dollar. And we actually saw the value of the US dollar plunge quite a bit last year. So not off to a great start. This is the kind of structural time bomb that doesn't hit immediately, but when it does, it hits everything. Stocks, bonds, housing, crypto. No market is immune when a sovereign debt, while this big, comes due. So keep your eyes open, because most people will notice this after it's too late. And then they say that they were one of the only people who called the top in October. They said that they'll do it again. That's literally their job. Pay close attention. And then they recommend that you guys follow them if you want to. So just showcasing this a little bit for you guys before we move on to the next bit of news. Okay, let's go and move on. Zive Crypto says, Roundhill ETF update, XRP strategy in motion. Roundhill ETF Trust has filed Form 485BXT with the SEC, setting a new effective date for its Roundhill XRP covered call strategy ETF paperwork under Rule 485B. This was filed on December 23rd, 2025, and we're looking at the effective date today, January 2nd, 2026. This ETF is part of Roundhill's plan to deliver XRP price exposure and income strategy via options, signaling rising institutional appetite for XRP-based products. It uses a covered call strategy on XRP-linked ETF derivatives, not direct spot XRP custody yet, but it shows the infrastructure is being actively built. So same thing before I move on to the next post. Give you guys just a few seconds here with this up on the screen if you want to actually read through that even more, but let's go ahead and move on now. So Whale Insider says that ETF clients buy $15.55 million worth of XRP, bringing total ETF held net assets to $1.27 billion. I thought this was pretty big news. This is actually from a few days ago, but I wanted to go ahead and make note of it for today and get you guys caught up to speed on things. Bar chart, breaking U.S. banks. Federal Reserve just pumped a staggering $31 billion into the U.S. banking system through overnight repos. This is the largest liquidity injection since COVID and surpasses even the peak of the dot-com bubble. Yeah, Happy New Year. And Whale Insider also says that the Fed injects $74.6 billion into the U.S. economy, which is absolutely bonkers. Chad Steingraber, direct USD to XRP volume on Coinbase is up 365.51% over the past couple of hours. USD means new dollar buys coming in, not swapping with existing stable coins. And you guys can actually see here with the crypto bubbles that we have a lot of crypto doing really well. And lo and behold, here is XRP. It's actually looking like it's helping to lead quite a bit, up 6.3%. We do see Doge is up a little bit more, though, above 10%, almost 11% for Doge. Then Bitcoin Junkies just in, Bitcoin flips green, reclaiming $90,000, so it's looking good. Ripple Zaidi, just in, Roundhill's income-focused XRP ETF could launch as early as January 29th. So looks like there's a little bit more of a definitive date there, but it says as early as. So not super definitive, but we're getting closer. Chad Steingraber goes on to say we've got 3 hours left while I'm recording the video. $15.17 million in XRP ETF volume. That's looking really good. John Squire says XRP ATMs, these machines are now being seen and tested by the public. Real world access, real usability, and another step toward everyday adoption. This is how it starts. So look at this machine right here, guys. Gives you a series of questions that you answer. It looks like it's pretty straightforward. And then, boom, you're basically done. It's a 1.5-minute long video. It's very, very quick. Then we have Chart Nerd who says XRP Ripple is fast tracking its expansion across Asia, positioning Japan as a cornerstone of its global strategy. I would love to visit Japan, and seeing that XRP is becoming more friendly over there, it's just another cool reason to go and visit, right? Okay, so with that being said, just taking a very quick look at the price chart, you guys can see that we have a nice spike up green on the day. We did close out yesterday in the green as well. So it's been hanging out down in this lower Fibonacci retracement zone. If it drops below $1.82, then we're really going to be seeing potentially a drop all the way down to $1.40, because that's how we look at these levels. But as it is right now, we're nearing about halfway on the Fibonacci retracement zone. So if it gets above about $2.03, then we'd be looking at the next major zone at $2.56, which is what we were hanging around back here on November 24th to November 28th. So that's what I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to hit subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. Even if you just want to say hi, the comments do help with engagement, and I really do appreciate it. Hopefully more people can see the news and stay informed. And you can also check me out on Blue Sky at Crypto Atlas. Thank you guys so much. And thank you also to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.